Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOLS. Welcome to this members webinar today, where we're going to discuss introducing business advisory services into your firm. And hopefully you've already got business advisory services operating. So this will be, hopefully, a timely update as you prepare yourself for the challenges of advising clients during these difficult times. The Year of Business Advisory Services, that's what the CommBank Accounting Market Pulse Report released in June 2020 has conveyed to the accounting industry, hasn't it? That the CommBank report has said that the practice areas expected to be in the most demand in the next 6 to 12 months. When they asked that survey, the response that they got was business advisory services topped the chart at 70%, followed by business recovery and insolvency 61%. Now there's a fair bit of work that's included under that general heading of business recovery that could also fit under business advisory services. So I think that's an outstanding result for business advisory services, which, if we're honest, up to this stage, has struggled to have recognition that it is a separate product area for accountants in Australia to offer. Not without trying by various people, including myself, Andrew Geddes, David Smith, Mark Holton, and others have been promoting business advisory services as a legitimate product range for accountants to be offering to small business and medium-sized enterprises for many years. And then the survey identified tax consulting at 48%, wealth management at 45%, management consulting services, which could also be linked to business advisory services, 39%, tax compliance, 36%. I think this is a very interesting chart. Risk management, 33%. Corporate finance, 21%. Some of that would be normally included as business advisory services also, as would risk management. Superannuation, 21%. Cyber security and technology consulting, 15%. And external or statutory audits, 12%. So it's an interesting chart, isn't it? But right at the top, we've got business advisory services was ranked 70% by the participants, which were drawn from all types of firms, top 100 firms, large firms, medium-sized firms, and small accountancy firms and sole practitioners. An interesting chart. So what's it all mean? What's it mean to you and your firm? What's your action plan? What services are you going to offer to your clients in 2020-21, especially when we realize that 7 weeks have already gone of this new financial year? The new opportunities calculator, which is part of the ESS BIZTOOLS packages for gold and silver subscribers, will assist you. And we're just going to look at the calculator now. Unfortunately, I can't link to it. We might try it over here. I will send you a link to that calculator, which I'm having trouble bringing up. Okay, so you need to be able to identify opportunities, and that's what that chart enables you to do by looking at clients who are currently paying you $3,000 to $10,000 per annum. What additional services could you offer to them? And then we have clients who are paying you $10,000 to $20,000 per annum. What services are they paying you for at this stage? And what else could you do for those particular clients? So the first product package that I want to refer today as being a key component of business advisory services is survival in difficult times. There's 42 questionnaires in that product package, which will allow you to explore all aspects of your client's business operations. And from that detailed review that you're going to do with your clients, this will facilitate the preparation of a strategic plan for this year, 2021, budgets and cash flow forecasts. Tools that your clients are going to need, and they're going to need this if they wish to take advantage of being able to try to raise some capital as a crowdsourced funding equity raising company, or if they wish to apply for a loan of up to $1 million that's going to be 50% guaranteed by the Australian government, which is the new coronavirus SME guarantee loan that starts from 1 October. So we have a special members webinar that's only going to look at the Survival in Difficult Times product package that we're presenting on the 9th of September 2020 at 12 noon, AEST. To register, please go to our website, www.ESS BIZTOOLS, and click on webinars. Or you can click on the link from the August edition of Members Alert. Chief Financial Officer is the next service that I want to refer you to. I was a CFO in a listed public company at one stage, and I can assure you life's very different from running a typical chartered accountant or public accountant's office. And I think the CFO role should be based more on what a CFO does in a listed company or a larger organization. So they get involved in a whole range of matters that might seem not completely relevant to financial matters, but CFOs to get involved with them. And a lot of the issues are non-taxation, although tax is at the back of a lot of decision making, but they're decisions built around cash flow, inventory investment, return on investment, key performance indicators, making sure that the key management personnel understand the reports that have been prepared for them. Now, SMEs have similar problems to big businesses, except that in big businesses, there's a team of internal experts to help the CEO get the answers that he or she are looking for. This is where you can provide a virtual CFO service for your clients. Use the technology, use the communications that are now available. Use Zoom as the way of communicating with the client. And one of the big requirements, I think, is to be able to supply answers to your client on what if questions. What if we did it this way? Could we do such and such? Would this be a good decision to make? Because quite frankly, they're the type of questions that I used to get virtually every day from the CEO, the deputy CEO, and members of the board, and the other key members of the leadership team. What would be the result if we changed matters to this? So a lot of this involved costing exercises. We were a major exporter, so the currencies around the world and what was likely to happen to those countries' currencies had a big impact. How long could you leave stock in freezer stores? What were the costs built up, etc.? A whole range of what if questions. Now I know that SMEs have the same questions because I talk to SMEs about it. And I raise with them, why do CEOs of public companies and larger organizations have a whole range of what if questions every day? And it doesn't appear as if SMEs have them. I can't really tell you on a video the response to that type of comment. Of course they do. And they really have to try to solve them themselves because they've got no one to talk to about it. And I think if you portray to them that you are willing and able to handle those questions, that you will be taken more into the play as being a key advisor, the virtual CFO. So we've got a special webinar for you to allow you and your team to gear up to supply a Chief Financial Officer service on Friday, the 18th of September at 12 noon AEST. The next product package that we have in our premier list of business advisory services is business funding for SMEs. Now, this one's worth thinking about. Think back to the articles that have appeared in the Financial Review and the Australian and on various business blogs and podcasts and TV reports over the last 2 to 3 months. And I'm sure that you've all heard these experts expressing that there's going to be some problems for SMEs being able to deal with banks to raise loans once the 1st of October has occurred. This is because banks have already advanced substantial sums of money to the SME community over the last 4 to 5 months. And there's been an embargo on banks and other lenders being able to take action against directors and companies. So the expectation is that banks are not going to be very keen to be involved in further lending to the SME market. Now, this is going to cause some discomfort to people when they find out about this, but it's not as big a disaster as what it might have been in previous years. Because 2 years ago, the government passed legislation to give private companies the opportunity to be able to raise capital direct from the public. Now, there's a real learning curve here. First of all, the client, the SME director and shareholder, needs to be comfortable with the concept that they will no longer own 100% of their business, but they will have cash injected into their bank account to pay for business expansion, undertaking research and development activities, registering a patent on a major new product, commercializing a new product or process, getting it in the market to the marketplace, appointing distributors, finalizing the legal documents, training the team. All these things cost money. And I know you know that. So this is a great opportunity for those businesses to be able to do something. And crowdsourced funding equity raising is that opportunity. Company can raise up to $5 million in 12 months from the public. Sure, there's some processes that have got to be gone through. And the other one's early stage innovation companies, which is the stablemate of crowdsourced funding equity raising. It's there to help younger companies under 3 years of age who have developed a new product, process or service, who have probably been involved in a research and development project, who could have got assistance under the Accelerating Commercialization Grant and now need to raise some capital to implement everything. So there is a pathway, and we're going to share that with you. We're also going to mention the Business Growth Fund, which is the federal government's combined with banks' new fund, which currently has $540 million. And the Treasurer is confident that he's going to build that up to $1 billion in the next 12 months. And this new fund will invest in new outstanding companies in Australia, 30 odd a year. Now, this probably won't be their first investment raising, and they will need to really have a good board of directors and leadership team, but it's targeted at small businesses, medium-sized enterprises. And the other way that companies can raise money, of course, has been there for 35 years. And that's utilising Section 708 of the Corporations Act, which allows a company to raise $2 million from a maximum of 20 investors in a 12 months period without having to register a prospectus or a memorandum or anything. So that money can be raised from retail investors rather than sophisticated investors. So if you want to know more about business funding for SMEs, and I really would ask you, if you don't know much about this, this should be one webinar in particular that you register to come to. And we're presenting that on the 23rd of September. It's a Wednesday at 12 noon AEST. We've done a survey recently and some of you participated in it. So thank you for participating when Trent Butler rang you and talked to you about your experience with ESS BIZTOOLS. And I was quietly surprised, but very happy that a number of you identified some of these industry-specific advisory services packages as being a key product within ESS BIZTOOLS that you used. One of our subscribers told Trent that he uses the charge out rates for tradies to check whether the labor productivity, the markup on materials, the overhead costs, when it's all put together, are going to contribute to the targeted net profit or not. He claims he used that well over 100 times a year dealing with his various clients. Have you looked at it? It's in your product package if you're a gold or silver subscriber. So we're going to look at the charge out rates for tradies to achieve a targeted profit. And its companion is the selling price and product mix product to achieve retail profits. Because within a business, there's all sorts of product ranges and they've all got different markups. So even though a business might be achieving a dollar figure of sales that is similar to what you put into a budget for the client, if that's from a very low markup product range, your client's going to have Buckley's chance of getting anywhere near the profit target that they've set. So the real use of this forecasting tool is to make sure that what's happening in the business day by day, week by week, and most importantly, month by month, has been re-examined so that if there's some fine tuning needs to be done, it can be done in October or November, not waiting to after the 30th of June next year. And the other tool is setting professional fees to achieve a targeted profitability for a professional firm. The professional firm has a target to earn a profit of $450,000. Are they professional fees, the productivity figures for the team from partners down? How does that all work out? What are the overheads of the business? Is that profitability target going to be achieved? I suspect that, with the greatest of respect, a lot of people don't really know in professional firms, retail firms, tradies and manufacturing firms, which is the other product package we have relating to this type of issue. I don't think people realize how close or how far they're going to get to their profit targets unless they utilize a tool like this. And we also have included in this package business health checks, which are also been one of our surprises from our survey, because a number of you mentioned that you found that the business health checks, which are a more in-depth benchmarking analysis, benchmarking in effect within your client's own firm, were very popular. So we're happy about that. We're going to expand the range of businesses that we have for the business health checks over the next 12 months. So do you want to know more about how you can get your clients to have an appropriate charge out rate and how you monitor the productivity being achieved from various team members? Well, join us for this special webinar on Tuesday, the 29th of September at, you guessed, 12 noon AEST. I like this one. Innovation journey. And that's what it is. And I want the ESS BIZTOOLS subscribers to own this space, because no one else, as far as we can work out, is offering anything like this service to the accounting industry in Australia. Now, I know that 10,000 accounting firms aren't interested enough to subscribe to a product like this, but I think our subscribers and a few more can really get out there and kick some goals to do some great service to those people who are undertaking research and development. How do they get started? How do they get into the right structure so that they can claim the research and development incentive? Obviously, they've got to be a company. What's in it for them? What do they got to do? What's the system that they've got to have so that they can undertake their research and development and satisfy the requirements of Oz Industry and the tax office? So the journey starts with R&D. It could then move into a special Commonwealth grant, the Accelerating Commercialisation Grant, which is up to $1 million on a 50-50 basis to assist with the commercialisation. People invent things, and I worked for 11 years as a special consultant to Oz Industry on a major program called COMET, Commercialising Emerging Technology, which was the predecessor to the Accelerating Commercialisation Grant Program, which we have today. And I found a lot of people got lost in that transition from undertaking some research and development in their backyard shed or on their computer to getting it into the marketplace, getting their invention out there. And it costs a lot more money than what most people think. That's why the government's offering a grant of up to $1 million. Do you know that 7 to about 10 companies every month get access to that $1 million grant when the minister announces that? And that means that those companies are undertaking $2 million worth of work over a 2-year period. And it can include their own labour if they're doing further work and they're doing it rather than having consultants. If you achieve nothing else out of listening to this presentation, I'd like you to know more about how this process works, because this can be a key area where you differentiate your services in your marketplace from your competitors. And then we go to early stage innovation company. I find when I talk various events to accountants that a lot of accountants are not really familiar with what early stage innovation companies are all about. Sometimes I suspect that people are saying yes to get me to shut up, but I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, but it's very serious. Your clients can raise capital and there's no upper limit. And this is primarily targeted at investors, because the investor can get 20% of their investment as a tax rebate of their tax bill. And as long as they own the shares for more than 12 months, they avoid having to pay capital gains tax on that investment. So when you put the 3 parts of the journey together, the research and development, the ability to get the research and development incentive, which currently for companies with turnovers under $20 million is 43.5% of the research and development expenditure. And some companies are claiming $500,000, $1 million, $2 million from that process. And they're companies with turnovers under $20 million. We then go into accelerating commercialisation, which could be a grant of up to $1 million, might only be a couple of $100,000, depends what has to get done. And then the ability to be able to make presentations to potential investors to invest in the company is a very interesting journey for the client. but it's also a very interesting journey for you and your accounting firm, because this process requires a research and development system, which we have within ESS BIZTOOLS. It requires special reporting to the tax office each year, which you will be able to do, and our R&D system summarizes what has to be done for that. And if you need assistance on a consultancy basis, we're able to supply that to you anywhere in Australia. The Accelerating Commercialisation Grant, most people will require assistance in the application process. Who by? You. The grant will support project management. And if your firm's interested in doing that and compiling the quarterly report that's got to be submitted back to the Entrepreneurs Program, which administers the Accelerating Commercialisation Grant, that's good, you can do that. Most applicants are going to need a business plan prepared and have that funded by the Accelerating Commercialisation Grant. You should be number one in line to be able to prepare that business plan. And it might be a fee income of $20,000 to $40,000, depending on the complexity and how much work has already been done. And then we move into early stage innovation companies. The company needs to go through a due diligence process to be able to submit appropriate information relating to their claim to have the status of early stage innovation company, to potential investors, and also to the tax office and Oz industry. So there's a real journey there, a journey of very interesting work for you and your team. So we've got a special webinar on that journey, R&D, accelerating commercialization, early stage innovation company, or crowdsource funding equity raising, because not every company is going to fit the specific requirements to be an early stage innovation company. But I'll share that with you more when we get round to the webinar. And one of my favorites, government grants, accelerating government grants for your clients. We have a separate product package which is available to our gold subscribers. And those of you who are silver subscribers or are subscribing to other products within ESS BIZTOOLS, you can subscribe to the BizGrants product on a standalone basis to get access. Within ESS BizGrants, we've included hundreds of Australian government, state and territory government grants that are targeted at small and medium-sized enterprises. This is a great activity for your firm to help your clients find these grants, because there's a significant amount of work that government grants fund that you could undertake. So it's a great deal finder from your point of view, unearthing potential work that you can undertake. Now that webinar is on Wednesday, the 21st of October. So in summary, we have 6 webinars coming up that are going to take you as our subscribers through this process so that you have got a distinct advantage in the marketplace to get out there in this post 1 October period, where whilst JobKeeper is continuing, it's continuing on a lower payout, and the government expects or hopes not as many businesses are going to be eligible to apply. So I think a lot more of your clients are going to be looking for your assistance. We believe these 6 product packages give you the ability to really offer a selection of premier business advisory services for your clients so that you can really achieve what the CommBank Market Pulse report was suggesting, that this should indeed be the major product activity that you're going to be conducting in the next 6 to 12 months. So if you've got any questions, please send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au, and I will get back to you. So thank you very much to our subscribers for your support of ESS BizTools and ESS BizGrants. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, please don't hesitate to send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au. Stay safe. Have a great day. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye. And I hope everything goes all right for you and that you are able to navigate the challenges which we have at present. And if you're in Victoria, of course, our thoughts really go out to you. So if you need any assistance on any matter that relates to the types of services that ESS BizTools or ESS BizGrants supplies, please don't hesitate to contact us. Goodbye.